Alright, you guys, welcome back to another video. Today, what we're going to do is something a little more STEM-like, like I usually do. And it's going to involve paper airplanes and optionally some paper clips, but you can get away with using anything that you can stick onto the paper airplanes. But for now, we'll put these aside so I can actually show you what we're doing. So, we are going to be making a few different paper airplanes. I have some right here just to show you off that there are different type of paper airplanes that you can make. The most standard one that most people make, you know, this little weird dart looking one, and then these two other ones. So I'm going to show you two of them because showing this one's pretty easy to do and this one takes a lot of time to do. So I'm just going to show you guys these two, and then after I'm done showing you guys these, I will tell you what we will be doing with the paper clips. So I'm going to be starting with this little dart one. And how you start is you take your your airplane, you lay it on a flat surface, and you start off with how you make any basic plane. You take it and you fold it in half. Just like this. And like we learned last time when we were making other stuff, like our origami, you need to crease the edges, and if you don't remember what that means, it means you push down the edge and you make it, and you push it down hard so it has this little like line in it when you open it back up. So after doing this, you're going to want to open it up, and you'll have this line in the middle. And you're going to want to fold two triangles towards that middle line. Try to get them as close to the lines as you can, but don't go over it. If you go over it, it'll make it a bit weird later down the line. And when you make these triangles, you're going to crease them as well so that they're flat. So you want to crease them really well. And you want to do it the same to the other side. So after you have this, you should have something that looks more like a house, but we're not done with this yet. So now, what we're going to do is we're going to fold it again. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this line right here, and we're going to put it to the middle, like we did with the other triangles. So we're going to take it, we're going to put it to the middle, and we're going to make sure we have a sharp little, not, I wouldn't say sharp, just a little pointy bit at the top. Because that's what's going to be the plane's nose. So we're going to do that, and then when you make that fold, it should look, the fold should look something like this. So it's little, you know, this little house that you made earlier, and it's kind of like cut in half right here. But we want to do that to both sides, so don't just leave one side different from the other side. All right. Once you have those folded, you should have something like this. And now, what we're going to do with this is the standard thing that you usually do with airplanes is we're going to close it in half, so that now we just have half of what we had. And then, this is where it gets tricky for this one. You want to make sure you keep this point right here, pointy. So you have to be very careful when making the wings. And how we make these wings is like how we made the inner part. We're going to take this side and we're going to bring it inside, or to this edge right here. So we're going to want to be extremely careful with it though, because we don't want to make it so that the pointy part is gone. We want to keep that. So we're going to do it. And now you should have a plane or a piece of paper that looks like this. It's the fold that we made, and the folds from before are right here. And you want to be careful because if you lose that pointy bit, it's not going to fly as well. So now laying it back down on our table, as you see, we're going to turn it over and we're going to do the other side the same way, where we're going to bring this edge to the final edge. Just like that. Now, as I'm folding this, I want to ask you guys a question. How do you guys think that these are how airplanes fly in the air when you throw them? How do you guys think that happens? I want you guys to answer that down below in the comments, and I'll look over them. All right, that should be enough time. If you guys didn't write it down, that's fine. You guys can pause at any time, but I'm going to tell you how. When you throw a plane, a paper airplane, you are giving it the speed, but the air is coming up below it right here and keeping the airplane in the air. So that's why these wings are important for airplanes, because otherwise they would fall straight to the ground. And it's the same way, kind of, how regular airplanes work, where they have air going on the bottom and above the wings, so it keeps it up in the air, which is super weird because regular airplanes are super heavy. They're extremely large machines that we somehow made fly. So now that we're done with this one, and now that I have two of these little dart ones, I'm going to move on to the next part, and then the next one that I'm going to show you, and it's this little one. It's kind of more squarish than the other ones, but it flies super well, especially if you do it right. So how we're starting this is the same as every other airplane, paper airplane. We're going to fold it in half the long way, and we're going to have it so that this fold is our starting point. Most airplanes need these like starting little folds to begin, and it's just like origami. You're just folding stuff and getting it ready for your final product. So we're going to open it up, and we're just going to do everything basic how we did before. We're going to fold these triangles like we did before, making sure it reaches the middle and it has a little pointy bit at the top there. And then we're going to crease it down just like this, and we're going to do it to the other side as well. So you guys should have that house again. So you guys should have the house like this again. Mine's a little off, but that's fine. So now this is where it gets different immediately for this one. What we're going to do is we are going to fold our little triangle here down. We're going to fold it down just like this. And this is what you guys should have, a little like triangle inside of the square or the rectangle. This little, just like that. And this is where it gets a little bit harder. So the next thing that we want to do is we want to take this little corner right here. We're going to take both of these and we're going to bring them to the middle, just the corners. So when you're doing this, I just like to follow it along with my fingers, and it should look, after we crease it like we usually do with stuff like this, the one side that you folded should look like this, where it has the pointy bit of the paper right here in the middle, and that's all that needs to be in the middle. So we're going to do it to the same to the other side. I'll show you guys more this time with the camera. Bringing the pointy bit right here to the middle. All right, and if I'm going a little too fast and I'm showing this, you guys can always rewind and watch it again. But now we should kind of have something that looks like it could be like a superhero cape. You know, you put this on to your shoulders and it's a cape. But we're not done with this yet. So now that we have both of the pointy bits in the middle, what we're going to do is we're going to take this part right here, and we're going to take that and we're going to fold it up so that locks those two pieces in place. So now we have that triangle top that we had before our first pointy bit, and now it's locking the other two pieces in place. So you guys should have this little cape that no longer has its little flaps available, and it should have like a flat top right here. So now that we have that, what we're going to do is we're going to turn it over, and we're going to fold it in half right here so that we have our regular plane shape. So now it's just half of what we had, and you can see all the folds that we made. Well, what we're going to do, unlike the dart where we bring this entire edge right here into this edge right here, we're just going to take this bit right here, this edge, this small little piece, and we're going to bring that to the middle so that way this part stays straight, and we still have our wing, which we just made after creasing the edges, and this little side part right here. And we should still see that little triangle from before that we made. So now we're gonna flip it over. We're gonna do the same thing to the other side. And now, when we open the wings back up, you should have the plane that I showed you guys earlier. And once again, if I was going a little too fast, you guys can go back, watch it again, pause where you need it to be. But now that I have these, what I want you guys to do, and this is where the optional weights that I told you guys to grab is going to come in from. I want you guys to put weights either on the top or in the front like this. I'm just going to use a paper clip to show it. Either on the front like this, or somewhere in the middle, or in the back, anywhere really, and throw the paper airplane and see what happens when you put different weights on different parts of the airplane. And if you guys can tell me what's happening, or make a prediction on what you think is going to happen to the plane with different weights on it, down in the comments, I would love to see them. But what should happen is you should notice that the plane acts differently when you throw it with all these weights. But it's up to you guys to figure out how the plane acts differently then. But for now, that should be all that I have for you guys today, this week. And I will see you guys next time when I have something more for you guys. All right? Goodbye.